I'm currently in a history master's right now, and I'm not entirely sure what pathway in the history world I want to go. I love being an intern here and doing research and archival work. I also love teaching and interacting with the public, and I do that through house tours here at the museum as well, and sort of the more educational aspect of history. But here has given me so many skills about learning how to read and work with historic documents, and also then how to take those skills and interact with the public and help share their family stories with them. Another project that I've been doing this summer has been working on the Graves Family Letter Project, and this is a collection of thousands of letters that were donated to the museum about the Graves family of Newburyport. And so me and the other interns have spent 2 summers cataloging, reading, and we hope to eventually transcribe these letters as a documentation of an early 20th century family in Newburyport. And those letters now live here in the research center. And it's a great example of being able to have the space to contain such a collection and also make it accessible to the public who might want to come and research with the things in those letters. These are all of the Graves family letters. They're categorized roughly by date, and by the end of the summer we hope to make sure we have boxes per decade with all of these letters. But again, like I said, there's thousands of Graves family letters that we've cataloged and scanned in this collection. Ashley, can I borrow a little bit of table space just to put this? It's an example of what we might have. This letter is to Miss Ruth Graves, who's one of the daughters of the family, and so we get a lot of letters to the daughters of the family. They're living in the early 20th century, both in Boston and Newburyport, and also in Argentina, where their family was based for business. They travel a lot, and so it's a really great collection into a young woman's life during this time period. And so we have anything from just letters between friends to wedding invitations to business records or receipts that the family kept. I mean, they kept every single piece of correspondence they ever received. We have postcards. I'm not quite used to the handwriting yet. I mean, I'm still working on it, but again, I've become somewhat of an expert on the family slowly, but it's still always a learning process with things like these.
Does somebody have better handwriting than somebody else?
Yes, like Ruth is pretty easy to read. I've managed to figure her out and understand her, but again, like the father, some of the older handwriting is quite difficult. So it takes a lot to be able to do a collection like this. One of the most interesting things about these letters is really being able to learn about the daily life of this family. For example, Ruth Graves, one of the daughters, she has a lot of romantic interests in her early 20s and 30s, and so we get to learn about sort of a real person's life, and it comes to life in these letters.
Awesome.
My name's Eric Swan. I'm a board member. I'm in my 2nd year. I'm on the Building and Grounds Committee. I'm an architect. I live in Newbury and have lived in the area since 1994. I have an interest in history through my daughter, Annabelle, who has been an intern with Bethany for many years. And so with that interest in wanting to help her in her history research, found my way to the board. So this is the Perkins Mint. It was a building that actually minted money back in the late 1700s, and the project has been on for 5 or so years. First with assessment of the structure, then structural improvements. You'll see some steel beams, you'll see some new columns, pointing of the brick, and then through that and through the process of fundraising, air conditioning, and then most importantly the archive shelves that you'll see, the painting shelving upstairs, and the movable file of archive shelving downstairs, which allows you to maximize space. What this did is it brought all of what you can see, which was piled up or stacked up in the house, and was not accessible. Was also not able to let people in to access certain parts of it or give them assistance in finding things. So by moving it and exposing it and cataloging it, now we have a real archival research institute. Basically, how do you preserve something? There's preservation, restoration, and renovation, and all are different types which deal with how you go about modernizing in a way of preserving, and so you need to find the level that you need to be at. So it obviously needed some new structural improvements, and I think that is something in terms of trying to keep it so that people don't notice it, and it's not the object that we're trying to display, although we are just trying to display the building as itself, and it is as a piece of history for people to understand. It's not supposed to be the main focus. And so then it's the experience of coming here, the experience of finding the materials, the ability to do research and find materials that weren't accessible previously. This also frees up a lot of space in the House Museum itself to allow other events and displays to happen. Come support the Cushing House. As everybody says, it's the center of the universe, and everybody's related to somebody somewhere. So come here and find yourself, find your family, find your history.